are back here with another video today. Today we are looking at the Georgia Bulldogs and their football prediction this year in 2026. The Georgia Bulldogs led in their 11th year under Kirby Smart. Smart has been an absolutely fantastic coach at Georgia during his tenure. They're entering this season 117-21, almost more than 100 wins more than losses. Kirby Smart has brought 2 national championships to Athens. Can he bring another? As we get into today's video on the Football Expert, my name is Reichley Ruby, and today we are looking over the Georgia Bulldogs. Make sure that you like this video if you enjoy it. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Let me know what you think of the Georgia schedule. What do you think the record's going to be? Do you think they're going to be a 9-3 team, a 10-2 team, an 11-1? Do you think they're going to go undefeated? If you're a Florida fan, are they going 0-12? That's up to you. So let me know what your comments are in the comment section down below. If you are a Florida fan, hate watching this video, I have a Florida preview out as well. I just did that one yesterday, so go and look that one up. And let's get into today's video. So, like I said, going into Kirby Smart's 11th year at Georgia, the redshirt senior quarterback and Gunnar Stockton is coming back for his redshirt senior year. Last year went about 70% completion percentage, over 2,800 yards, close to 2,900, 34 total touchdowns, 10 of those rushing, and 5 interceptions. The offense was also led by Nate Frazier at running back, going for 173 carries, 947 yards, 5.5 yards a carry, and 6 touchdowns. Those are the offensive highlights as we look at this Georgia team. And we see a Georgia team that, looking into this year's schedule, we see that this Georgia team has a lot of work to do, because obviously the past 2 years with Georgia did not end well. A couple of years ago, won the SEC and lost to Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl. And then once again, this past year, had a good SEC run. And then in the I guess, quarterfinals, that would be quarterfinals, once again a loss to Ole Miss, this time an SEC rival in that game, and this has just not been a good setup for Georgia the past couple of years. They've played well in the SEC, they've won SEC championships, and then they've lost in the quarterfinals. They seem to have almost kind of run out of gas the last couple of years. I don't know if that's a great way of putting it. Obviously, a couple of years ago, you had Stockton start after Carson Beck had his arm hurt in the SEC championship game against Texas. But at the same time, I don't think that Carson Beck changes the outcome of that game in any meaningful way. So we'll see what happens here, but we're just looking at the regular season schedule. So let's get started into it. First game is a home game against Tennessee State. Easy win here. Tennessee State, I believe, is still led by Eddie George, the former Ohio State standout. At least he was there last year, or maybe 2 years ago when Notre Dame played them. I haven't looked in to Tennessee State too much, but easy win there against HBCU. Western Kentucky, easy win here as well. I don't think that there will be any issues against Western Kentucky. They have a lot of up and down parts of their lineup. I should say their roster, not lineup. Sorry, I'm thinking baseball. Roster, they have a lot of up and down parts. There are some things that Western Kentucky has done well. The quarterback position has been a favorable one the past few years at Western Kentucky, though I don't know if it's this year going to be as favorable. So another win there for Georgia. First road game of the year is a road game against Arkansas. Very, very interested to see this one. I know that I believe this was maybe a week ago. The Arkansas athletic director made a whole fuss about going on the road, playing Utah late Saturday night, coming home on Sunday, and then playing Georgia. I think the game's scheduled for maybe 11 Central, maybe 12 Eastern. And he was not happy about that. So I think that it's going to be an interesting game just because of that type of environment set up with the AD of Arkansas, Yurachek, upset about that one. So I think Georgia gets an easy win here, especially since Arkansas is already complaining about playing Georgia. I have a win here for the Bulldogs. Then there is a home game against Oklahoma. And a very interesting 4-game stretch here for the Bulldogs. Oklahoma home, Vanderbilt at home, at Alabama, and then a home game against Auburn. So a very important 4-game stretch here before the bye week. I think this Oklahoma home game, I'm going to lean towards the Bulldogs because I'm not 100% sure where John Mateer is going to be at this point in the season. And last year, very interesting matchup with Georgia and Oklahoma. I think that Georgia is a good team when it comes down to it, and a team that can get a lot of victories. The problem is with Oklahoma's side of it is that where is their offensive production going to be at that point in the season? Obviously, Oklahoma struggled mightily last year in their offensive production. And they didn't play, these two teams didn't play last year, but I think it'll be a very interesting matchup to see what goes on in a game like that. Then a home game against Vanderbilt. I think that this is a win. I do find it very interesting. The 5-star quarterback that committed to Georgia originally was going to play there, but then moved his commitment to Vanderbilt, decommitted from Georgia. And I think that's going to create a very interesting environment because from all I can tell, I believe his name is Jared Curtis. If that name is wrong, I apologize. I haven't taken a deep dive into Vanderbilt yet. He seems to be the starting quarterback going into this year. I don't think he'll have a waiting period. And if he does, then at this point of the season, I think he'll be playing. But I think Georgia's just the better team. If this was at Vanderbilt, I'd be a little more intrigued. But with it being on the road, for Vanderbilt, I think that the Bulldogs get the better of them. Another win here for Georgia. Then a road game against Alabama, and I have this as a loss. Yes, I know that all of the Georgia fans are right now screaming at me in this video, but the last 2 years have been kind of bad for Georgia when it comes to playing Alabama. Lost the last 2 matchups against Alabama and Kalen DeBoer. And it's kind of been an odd thing because obviously in previous years, Georgia has been dominating Alabama. But then Georgia has found ways to lose these games in very different fashion. Last year of defensive battle in Athens, then the year before that, an offensive juggernauts going back and forth. Carson Beck had 439 passing yards in that game. And I just don't know. Here's the thing. When looking at this Georgia schedule, I thought that I have a loss in here, and I was looking around, okay, if I think there's going to be a loss, where do I think it is most likely to happen? And honestly, Alabama seems to be that option. It's a road game. They have not beaten them in the past couple of years, have not beaten Kalen DeBoer while he's been at Alabama. And I think that it just matches up really well for Bama. It's later on into the middle part of the season. So the quarterback situation, I think, will be worked out at this point, and they'll be moving on into the middle of the season. So I think that that will also play a factor. If this game was like week 3, then I could probably favor Georgia a little more than in week, I guess this would be like week 6, maybe week 7. So I have that as a loss. Then the Auburn Tigers coming to town, the other Alabama team. And I think that this is going to be a win against Alec Golish and his squad there at Georgia. But I do find this very interesting because Georgia has at certain times in the Kirby Smart tenure struggled against very athletic, very mobile quarterbacks. Byron Brown, not the most athletic, but definitely has a lot of athletic characteristics to him. The same way that I would compare to like Haynes King a couple of years ago against Georgia, when it was just a slugfest and a matchup that Georgia just struggled to win. I think it went into like 7 overtimes or something. And Georgia just really struggled over and over and over again. So I have that as a win for the Bulldogs. But watch out for a game like this, especially if they beat Alabama. Have a big win if it's a possible letdown game. So we'll see. I don't think that they lose this game, but we'll see what happens. Then there's a bye week and a home game against Florida. I think that this is a win here for the Bulldogs. I don't think they have problems against this Florida squad. So win there. Then a road game against Ole Miss. I have this as a win. I think that they get revenge in their postseason matchup last year. And I just think, even though I think this Ole Miss team is in a good position, I think that this Ole Miss team has some good characteristics to it. Obviously, Trinidad Chambliss coming back, Pete Golden, now the official head coach there. But at the same time, and at the end of the day, I think that this Ole Miss team, I just don't know where they're going to be at later on in this season. And I don't know what Pete Golding is going to look like in such a top matchup like that. So I'm going to give the edge to the Bulldogs and Kirby Smart. Then a home game against Missouri. I think that this is an easy win here. I think Drinkowitz and the squad. I think Missouri is a good team. But if this game was at Missouri, I'd maybe have a different feeling on it. But with this game at home, with Georgia, I think that a 3 o'clock kickoff, probably maybe a 12, it's just not going to favor Missouri. Then a road game against South Carolina. I went back and forth on this one a little more than I thought I was. If you watch my South Carolina preview, I went back and forth with some people, and they did bring up some good points of why this could be a somewhat competitive game here on the later half of the season. Looking forward to a rivalry game against Georgia Tech and some good old-fashioned hate the following week. I have a win here for the Bulldogs, but if South Carolina is really rolling, William Bryce Stadium at night, if it's somehow a night game, that is upset territory right there. So watch out, Georgia Bulldog fans. I have it as a win, but just watch out. It could be a loss if Georgia is not fully prepared for a game like that and they start to look ahead. Then a home game to finish out the season against Georgia Tech. Like I said just a couple minutes earlier, Haynes King was the quarterback there last time, and this time it is Alberto Mendoza now, the quarterback at Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech is not an easy team to beat. I will have my Georgia Tech preview coming out in a little bit, so I won't spoil a bunch. But Georgia Tech, I think, is going to be a good team and a really good team in the ACC. So it's a team that could compete against Georgia once again. So that's going to wrap up today's video. As always, hit one of the 2 videos down below and hit the subscribe button up here. Help me reach my goal of 6,500 subscribers by the end of June. As always, have a great day. Bye, guys.